Hi, everybody. Chris Hoff here, and I want to say thank you to Peggy and the reauthoring community for inviting me to participate in the Next Gen Collaboratory #2, Widening the Tent, and that will happen on Sunday, September 15th from 4 to 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And they've given me a couple questions to respond to, and I'm going to do that in this video. The first one being, what comes to mind when you consider cross-pollinating narrative practice with other cherished approaches? And I have a story about that. Actually, several years ago, I heard through the grapevine one of the senior members of my narrative community had said to a friend of mine that, well, Chris isn't actually a real narrative therapist because he meditates. He's into mindfulness and stuff like that. I know, odd. But I get it. There was this idea that like narrative therapy was a non-essentialist practice, and mindfulness and kind of its more surfacey forms could be a very essentialist practice. And I think it lacks some depth about it. I am a Zen Buddhist meditation practicer. And so anyway, so there was a period of time when I was coming up when cross-pollinating was looked at with some suspicion. So, but I think that's changing, if you haven't noticed yet, even by this conversation we're about to have. And I guess something I'm excited about that's coming up about cross-pollinating, and what I want to talk about too is this book. And I had to print it out because I don't have the hard copy yet, but it's coming. This is an encyclopedia of radical helping, and it will feature several of folks that you are familiar with if you are in the kind of the narrative community, and that will include Selja Sen, Marcelo Polanco, Larry Zucker, Sheila McNamee, Lindsay Hampson, and many others, alongside lots of different other types and ways of helping and practices that come from lots of different disciplines. So if you want to see some cross-pollinating in practice, I'm going to recommend this book. But okay, anyway, the next question they have for me is there a particular field of inquiry which you wish to create bridges and build dialogue? And if so, why? For me, I've become very interested in foresight and future studies. I believe they have a lot of potential for us as they provide a broader theoretical, methodological framework for understanding potential futures. We live in a very chaotic and world right now, and there's a ton of uncertainty. And how do we help ourselves and those that come to seek our help manage that sort of uncertainty, or navigate that uncertainty in their lives? And I think foresight and future studies, things like scenario planning, et cetera, have a lot of potential for folks that are narrative therapists. And the last question is, what are you enthusiastic about, and where do you notice concerns, and proceed with caution as you grapple with congruence? Well, I'm excited about people that are talking about our current climate, and this is one recent book I can highly recommend, Immediacy or the Style of Too Late Capitalism by Anna Kornblum. And also another one I've become very excited about, and I think offers some work for us, Defuturing by Tony Fry. Also comes from the design discipline, so there's some cross-pollinating there. Very interested in stuff like that. We live in a world where it's becoming increasingly accelerated, increasingly fragmented, and I think narrative therapy has a lot to offer about not letting this temporal narrowing happen, and so how can I think we have a lot to offer, and I'm looking outside of narrative therapy and fields like foresight and future studies, design, those kinds of things, and that's what I'm excited about, while trying to maintain, the series of ethics of narrative therapy as I explore these new possibilities. So hopefully that's helpful about what I'm thinking about these days, and I look forward to seeing you all at the Widening the Tent on September 15th from 4 to 7 Eastern Time. Peace.